Hey guys, Naughty Roddy here. It's been a while since the last review, and the last review was with the Boggy Roddy, my little Boglin puppet, and that was just because I didn't have a lot of time, and there's been a lot of life stuff going on between work, personal, family stuff, and a couple projects. Some I can talk about, some I can't talk about. Um, but like one of them's with my buddy Putrid Productions, Jonathan Doe. I just did a design for his latest film coming out, just like I designed his last two shirts. So keep an eye out for that. I believe it's Defilement of a Porcelain Doll is the movie. Starring Felicia Fisher and Little Puck. I want to get back into reviewing. It's been a while. I was watching Horror Geek, catching up on his videos. I love Horror Geek. Check him out. He's an awesome horror movie reviewer. Check out Jonathan Doe, Cinema's Underbelly on YouTube. He's another awesome horror reviewer. Um, and if you're watching this, thank you. Sorry if the intro is a little jumbled. It's been a while. I actually want to talk about Halloween. Rob Zombie's Halloween again, even though I talked about it. Well, the puppet talked about it. But it was a short review. I want to go a little more in depth on my thoughts on this because Monsters trailer just dropped. Rob's getting some shit for it because it looks cheap. And I, I don't know. He's getting some flack for it. I did want to. He's one of those directors that I defend for the most part because I really like his style. And recently, because I actually didn't know until a few years ago how controversial and honestly kind of hated Rob Zombie's Halloween is. Because I remember when it came out, everybody was all over it. And I remember, at least in my area, people seem to like it. So yeah, let's talk about it. 2007, Rob Zombie, House of Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects. All of a sudden, he's doing this origin, like Michael Myers, the beginning. And, we get that. The first part of the movie is Michael as a kid in a pretty dysfunctional household. You got a bullying older sister, an abusive stepfather, and just like a shitty environment. And Rob, like, I'm mixed because the original Halloween, Michael's depicted as a normal kid who just out of nowhere snapped for no reason and killed his older sister. Here, he's given almost the stereotypical serial killer origin story. In Rob's defense, like that was a stereotype back 2007, but we were all kind of eating that up for a few years even after because of true crime movies and shows. That's just kind of where we were at, as people who just indulged on the serial killer stuff. We wanted a reason for why these serial killers ended up serial killers. And more often than not, people uh, kind of accepted more that it was a shitty upbringing, like nurture versus nature, rather than just, you know, kid just goes evil out of nowhere. I'm mixed because I do think it's pretty stereotypical, but I think Rob did it fairly well. But yeah, you follow Kid Michael to his first, because he starts out killing animals, uh, typical serial killer stuff. But then he like quickly moves on to killing a bully at his school, really fucking brutally. I remember that scene really shook me as a kid when I saw this because I was like 12 when I saw this. And kids killing kids, that was always all over the news, even to this fucking day. And it was brutal. It wasn't a quick. That's one thing I love about this movie and most of Rob's horror movies. The murders are not quick. They are not flashy. They look like they fucking hurt. Like they actually would. The victims struggle. And I think my video just fucking froze. But yeah, the victims struggle, and this kid he beats to death. It's so fucking harsh. That scene, honestly, might be like the most brutal to me. But you follow Michael through that Halloween night, murders his stepdad and his sister, his older sister. He doesn't murder his little sister, his little baby sister, and he doesn't murder his mom. And I actually had to think about this for a bit. And I think the reason why is obviously he's a mama's boy in this. His mom's the only person that defends him. And his little sister's a baby. Like, he nurtures her, he takes care of her. And, you know, she's not old enough to really judge Michael on anything. So he gets arrested. Malcolm McDowell does a really awesome job as Dr. Loomis, and he becomes Michael's basically his third father figure. And I recently just thought about this. I truly believe, and I'm sure I'm just drawing at straws here. If Rob Zombie somehow saw this video, he'd probably tell me I'm way the fuck off. But I truly believe that this film and Michael Myers in this film, not the continuity of any of the other Halloweens, just in Rob Zombie's 1 and 2 Halloweens, especially this one, the theme of Michael's rage and his evolution is failed fathers. His first father in this movie apparently died, I think. If him and his sister even have the same father, his older sister, he apparently died. So in some messed up psychological way, Michael's perturbing it as abandonment, especially the shitty situation he's in, as you see in the beginning of the film. His stepfather is his secondary father, and he's an abusive, judgmental, creepy piece of shit. Who, yeah, when he gets killed, good fucking riddance. And when Michael gets arrested and sent to the mental institution, he gets two father figures. He gets Dr. Loomis, who's his main father figure, who's genuinely trying to help Michael, who's genuinely cares about Michael. It's actually depicted very well. And then you have Danny Trejo, who's a guard there, and he's kind of Michael's support on that end because he mentions that he used to be an inmate too. And he's telling Michael, you know, you can't, think of yourself as confined. You gotta look beyond all this. So he's got two father figures. Years go on. He kills a nurse, which gets him like locked up even harder. His mom finally has a mental breakdown and blames herself for a lot of what happened, ends up, offing herself. And years pass by, and Michael shuts down completely. He won't talk at all for years, and Loomis finally has to move on because there's no progress with Michael. So I think in the movie, Loomis mentions that he has to do it. Like, he doesn't really have a choice, but he's like begging Michael to say anything to him to show some little ounce of progress, just one word, and he'll stay, but Michael won't. So Loomis has to leave. And it's genuinely like sad. Like, you could see that Loomis does not want to leave Michael. And when Loomis leaves, depending on which version you're watching, because there's the rated version, the unrated version. I saw the unrated version. I can't really say that this scene is that good, but in both versions, Michael escapes differently. In the rated version, he escapes during a transfer. I don't know if they're transferring him to another facility or something, but he breaks out of his change and murders a shit ton of guards. And it's pretty badass. In the unrated version, he's in his cell, and two new redneck guards take a female prisoner to his cell and start raping her. And I mean, it's cool. Michael kills the rapist really brutally. I love seeing rapists get killed in any movie. I just don't like rape scenes. They make me fucking uncomfortable. And yeah, so Michael escapes that way. He doesn't. I shouldn't know. It looks like he doesn't kill the prisoner that got raped. So there's some weird consciousness going on with Michael. But then comes the scene that, for me and a lot of people that watched it, really tore us, where he runs into Danny Trejo, his fourth father figure, and he doesn't attack him at first. He doesn't attack him, but Danny sees what he did. And, he's really calmly like, okay, Michael, we'll take care of this. Everything's going to be fine. I got to take you back to your cell, though. And as soon as he tries to cuff Michael, Michael snaps, murders him really viciously. And he's even screaming like, why are you doing this? I was good to you. And Michael fucking kills him. And I always thought that was kind of fucked up and a little bullshit. Because he's like, one of Michael's only friends. But then I thought about it. I really thought about it. He's the fourth and final father figure of Michael's. And he probably sees it as a complete betrayal when this father figure, who was telling him to look beyond these cell walls, tries to put him back into that cell. Michael probably saw it as the last betrayal. And I think that's when he goes totally cold-hearted. The rest of the film is pretty much a remake of Halloween 1, just a lot more violent. Also, Michael's a lot more just animalistic in a way. Like, he doesn't drive, which never made sense to me. I don't really fucking care who's defending the driving in the first film, but it never made fucking sense to me. He was arrested as a child. Who taught him to fucking drive? So he actually walks all the way back to Haddonfield, and the rest of the film is him trying to reunite with his final family member, who is his older sister, who was adopted. I don't got a lot of time left on my camera to keep recording, so I'll just sum it up, because like I said, my videos are a little different, where I just want to get my thoughts, and I think you should see this movie, so I'm not going to spoil it completely. I just want to give my take on that. I think there's more to Rob's films than some people give him credit for. And I do think that this is a little more thought out than people give it credit for. I do agree it's a pretty typical slasher origin, but done in a not so typical way. And I do think there is a little more to the father figures of Michael. And one thing that I do appreciate with Rob Zombie's Halloween is Michael is a bloodthirsty fucking killing machine, but he does have motivation. He does have a reason for why he's killing and why he's trying to get back home. And yeah, I do think it's a good movie. It's not a great movie, but I do think compared to the whole Halloween series as a whole, it's not even close to the worst Halloween. For me personally, Curse of Michael Myers can go fuck itself. That is a terrible, terrible, terrible fucking film. I think it's worse than Resurrection. I think this is a really solid movie. And you got two versions to watch, rated and unrated. A lot of people say go for rated. I also say that. But if you want something a little bit harsher, if you're in just a really bloodthirsty mood, go for unrated. This is my latest video. Thank you guys for watching. I will try to be a little more frequent on the weekends. And I hope you guys are doing well. It's hot as fuck out there, so stay hydrated. All right. Peace.